Let's jump right into this explainer because today we're unlocking a totally new level of communication. We're taking a Spanish language journey and we're moving past the basics of just talking about ourselves. We're stepping into the dynamic, kind of complex, but totally manageable world of plurals. We're going to learn exactly how to describe groups of people. Like, how do you describe your friends, your family, or even just a group of strangers across the room? Well, by the end of this visual journey, you're going to be doing this effortlessly. Okay, let's dive into this. What you're seeing here is basically the core foundation of our entire lesson. ¿Cómo son ustedes? Literally, this translates to, what are you all like? Now, I want you to treat this whole explainer like an active conversation, like a call and response between you and me. When someone asks you this question, they're asking about the characteristics of your group, right? So to answer it, you instantly need to know how to respond on behalf of everyone with you. Mastering this one single question, it's literally the key that unlocks a massive piece of conversational Spanish. Now, to answer that question, we first need to get a handle on the pronouns. Notice how our two main groups are visually separated for us here. On the left side, we have our home base, nosotros somos, which means we are. And just a quick aside, if your group is entirely female, you'd use nosotras somos. Then, on the right side, we have the group you're talking directly to, ustedes son, meaning you all are. Putting these side by side makes it incredibly easy to process the contrast. The left side is your group, the right side is their group. It's like a perfect mirror. But what if we aren't talking to our own group, and we're not talking directly to another group either? Like, what if we're just observing a completely different set of people from afar? Well, that requires a little pivot. We ask, ¿Cómo son ellos? What are they like? This introduces our third group, and honestly, this is where describing people gets really fun. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is our unique cast of characters here. Yes, those are donkeys staring right back at us. As we look at these three guys, we need a way to describe them. We use the phrase ellos son, meaning they are, or, if we had a group of female donkeys, we'd say ellas son. Whenever you're struggling to remember the third-person plural pronoun, just picture these curious guys right here. They're going to be our memorable stand-ins for ellos. Okay, so now we need adjectives to describe them, but since we're talking about a group, we have to make our describing words plural. Now, don't let the grammar intimidate you here. Just think of it like a really simple math equation. Step 1, take your singular adjective, like inteligente or intelligent. Notice how it ends in the vowel E. Step 2, when a word ends in a vowel in Spanish, we just add the letter S. That's it, which gives us our result, inteligentes. So, one intelligent person is inteligente. A whole group of them, inteligentes. It's just simple addition. And this brilliantly illustrates how this one simple rule just cascades across so many of our vocabulary words. Look at deportista, meaning sports-minded or athletic. It ends in an A. Add an S, and boom, deportistas. Look at talentoso, meaning talented. It ends in an O. Add an S, and you get talentosos. So whether your group is heavily into sports or incredibly gifted in the arts, as long as the base word ends in a vowel, your formula remains exactly the same. Just add S. Super easy, right? But of course, language always throws us a slight curveball, right? What happens when our adjective doesn't end in a nice, easy vowel? Look at step 1 here, joven, which means young. It ends in the consonant N. We can't just slap an S on there. It would sound incredibly awkward. Jovens, no way, that just doesn't work. So our slight variation kicks in. We add S, which brings us to our final step, jóvenes, young people. See? Consonant ending? Just add S to smooth out the pronunciation. Let's look at how beautifully this plays out with gendered adjectives. Trabajador means hardworking for a male. It ends in the consonant R. Applying our new rule, we add ES to get trabajadores, a group of hardworking guys. But look right below it. If we're talking about a hardworking female, the word is trabajadora. It ends in an A, which is a vowel. So we just revert to our first rule, add an S, and we get trabajadoras. It's incredibly logical once you see it laid out visually like this. All right, let's bring our cast of characters back to actively apply this to a full sentence. Our donkeys are claiming their brilliance here. The text reads, Nosotros siete somos inteligentes. We 7 are intelligent. Notice how absolutely everything agrees here. Nosotros is plural. Somos is the plural verb. And inteligentes has that S on the end because they're a group. They've perfectly executed the grammar rule, proving that they are, in fact, quite smart. Let's move to hajin and see how this builds into our vocabulary. Take a quick breath and just let these bold, pop art red blocks reset your eyes. Think of this as a visual palette cleanser. We've locked down the mechanics, the formulas, the S's, the ES's. Your brain completely knows how to make words plural now. So we're going to do a rapid-fire vocabulary download so you actually have the words to use in these equations. Get ready. If someone asks, ¿Cómo son ustedes?, meaning what are you and your friends like, here is your first arsenal of plural adjectives using nosotros somos, we are. Impacientes, impatient, or maybe we're talentosos, talented. You could be atrevidos, daring or adventurous. Perhaps your group is full of deportistas, sports-minded people, or maybe you're all inteligentes, smart, estudiosos, studious, and sociables, sociable. Notice the rhythm here as we group these traits. Every single one of these words ends in an S. They perfectly align with the we are plural rules we just learned. Boom, another visual flash. Reset your focus again for me. We're shifting from that first list of traits to a brand new wave of vocabulary. Keep holding on to that nosotros somos structure in your mind, but prepare for some excellent, contrasting descriptions that you might use if you were describing, say, you and your absolute best friend. So the crucial point is having enough variety to be totally accurate. We continue with nosotros somos, graciosos, meaning funny, or artísticos, artistic. Maybe you're ordenados, neat and organized, or maybe you're total opposites, and you're desordenados, messy. You could be trabajadores, hardworking, and hey, notice that S ending there. Or perhaps perezosos, lazy, or reservados, shy and reserved. These paired opposites give you an incredible range to describe literally any dynamic within your group in a completely natural conversation. Let's bring our donkey friends back one last time for a full circle callback. If we look across the field at them, we ask our third-person question, ¿Cómo son ellos? And now, instead of just calling them intelligent, look at the massive vocabulary you have to pull from. Ellos son graciosos. Ellos son perezosos. Ellos son atrevidos. You can mentally mix and match any of those new words, making sure you apply that plural ending, of course, to describe them perfectly. Which brings the spotlight entirely back to you. I'm asking you directly right now, ¿Cómo son ustedes? When you look at your family, your friends, your study group, what are you all like? Are you trabajadores, hardworking? Or are you maybe a little perezosos, lazy? I want you to walk away from this explainer actively looking at groups of people today and practicing these plural formulas in your head. The vocabulary is in there, the grammar math is super simple, now it's just time to put it all to use.